So his hand in the video is wanting my attention, but I've been giving them all my attention. That at the end of the day, you have to fill up your own cup too, right? Like, these messages are important. These messages are my passion, and this is important information that needs to get out into this world. So they also need to know that, like, hey, you got to do your own thing for a little while I record this message, right? Because I tried to do it while they were outside, but again, they didn't want to be outside for long. After 10 minutes, they got bored, so I wasn't able to do it during that time. So if you guys want to come back in, then you guys got to give me a moment to do this message. My older son's good because he's older, right? But the little one is constantly mommy, 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 attention, right? So even if his older brother's playing with him, he's trying to get my attention. So back to the message, what I was saying. Wow, it's crazy. My mind is really feeling clearer as I'm saying these messages. It's like I'm getting a channel as I speak. But yeah, so all these information, that's why I can't adopt one idea until I feel it in my heart that it makes the most sense. And then sometimes one idea might might feel it in your heart that it's the right idea, but then you discover another idea and it starts to make more sense. And then maybe after a while, that idea doesn't align and you discover another idea. So it's like, it's not like you're jumping, it's just that you're gaining more knowledge and information and your spirit is expanding in your consciousness. So it's putting puzzle pieces together subconsciously and consciously to get you to decide that, hey, this actually makes more sense. So this 552, mathematically, this has happened every 552 years. But he doesn't say why it's happened either. He just calls it the Great Reset, right? This has happened in history where, and maybe in another video he does talk about why, but right now I don't know why that keeps happening. But people saying that gold and all these things is all theories. Like, it's based in, I think, history books like ancient texts, Sumerian texts that said that this is why they did it, but it's also theories as to why they did it. You don't know for sure if that's exactly why they did it, right? Like, a lot of these can be stories of what people interpreted and thought their reasons were. But the things that we can actually concrete, um, like say it's concrete, is that most likely we're living in a dome and a construct. Why that dome and construct was created? Well, that we don't necessarily know. Like what I said, the theory of that it could be a parasitic reality that is mirroring reality, but there's still an oversoul above this reality that controls everything no matter what construct you're in, right? So but the way he's describing, until I find out that information where he talks about the parasitic reality, I'm just gonna say that he's saying that this construct is. Oh, he fell asleep right beside me. I'm lucky. Now I can, now I can talk properly without being disturbed. Ah, eureka! That's why you don't give up, right? Like, you keep going, and then the oversoul will work out for you, right? Sometimes these little tests are to test you. So, oh yeah, that's why everything. Oh my god, I have like 100 things. Wow, I'm so happy. Everything's coming to my mind right now. Like, this feels so good. So, my mind does that where it finishes things off before I say it, but and I have to rewind and come back to it. It's already come up with the answer. So, basically, this situation right now, right? The kid's not allowing me to record a video right now and need my attention and other distractions coming up and my brain fog and all these things is a test of the construct of the oversoul. The source, I'm going to call it oversoul now because that's what he calls it. Jason from Arconic. Ugh, I can't believe I can't say it and I'm hearing it nonstop. But, yeah, so, oh, what was I saying? So yeah, these things that just happened were all a test for, am I going to react to the external stimuli? Am I going to be reactive and be annoyed and just give up and be like, I'm not doing this right now, it's too stressful? Or am I going to keep going and pushing through, pausing 100 times if I need to, deal with the kids, come back to it until I get this message off, right? So it's like we say a lot of the times that, oh, something doesn't want us to get this message out, like something's stopping us from getting this message out. And like, every time I would say it too, is like, I don't know if I fully believe that, because it's like, I don't know necessarily if it's something that's stopping the message from coming true. Maybe it could be like negative forces stopping it, but like if we look at everything in programming, then the code wouldn't be stopping it, but mostly like it could be that the code is just sending us test to see what, like, this whole thing is a test, right? And for us to raise our frequency and to manifest the reality that we want and to get closer to the oversoul. So he's not going to make it easy for us. We have to go through the challenges of making our field stronger. So yeah, like, let me just retract a little bit. So what I was saying about tarot readers is that I'm always looking for the ones that's about self-improvement and help me understand why I'm feeling the way I do. And usually I'll listen to something and I'm like, oh yeah, that actually aligns with why I would be feeling like this and why I'm feeling like this. And so one of the things was saying that, like, yeah, you're going through this funk and everything, but what you need to do is get back into your creativity, whatever it is. If it's painting, if it's recording a message, if it's writing, just do your creativity. And I've been abiding by that message for a year now, nonstop. I've been abiding by it for longer, but like consistently doing every day. I've been abiding by it for a year, and I've been preaching about it nonstop. But yet, because I was I felt like in such like a deep funk, that I was like, nah, I can't even do my creativity. Like, I'm not doing this right now. I just need to like rest and reset. But I was like, no, my creativity has always been the solution, even when I've been feeling in a funk. So that's why I forced myself through the brain fog to record this message, and now it's helping me get out of this brain fog and think more clearly and get excited and get happy, because knowledge and wisdom and insight and figuring out why, like Socrates always asks questions to help you figure out why, is how I feel good, you know? Helps me not be so stuck in this 3D reality and see the bigger picture of everything, right? So when we say that don't be reactive, the reason why, again, is because it gets you caught in the dungeon programming, the negative programming, the feedback loop, not allowing you to break generational curses. Like, all of these things are all part of a program. So when you think of like the construct, even code, source, energy, it's just like, think of it like a code as well, right? Like a program that's run, that has souls. And it's like, okay, so what he was saying is that the I'm gonna try to like summarize it because I don't want to keep reading off of it, but I'll read off of it when I need to, because my brain's like flowing so fast now. What he was saying is that I lost my train of thought again because I started talking about something else. Oh, basically, the oversoul source can only observe itself. So it cannot like interact necessarily. It can only observe everything. Hold on, let me read this properly, what he said. So yeah, and then it said like the behavior, right? Okay, I'm going to talk about that after when I get to that point. But you're saying that the oversoul, so is because we react instead of create, a constant reaction to external stimuli modifies behavior, and our behavior is key component. So because we're reacting, it's making us irritated, annoyed, angry, frustrated, all of these things, like those situations. So when we're reacting or working a job that we don't like and we're like irritated nonstop, we come home and we're like, is this what life is? I have to go do this again, and you're miserable, right? So because of that fact, it changes our behavior. So the person, like, think about yourself as a child, or like children. They're free, they're spirited, they don't have these responsibilities that they have to worry about, bills they need to pay, rent they need to pay, people they have to, people that are still in the people-pleasing mentality, people they have to, bosses or whatever they have to listen to, things that they have to do in order to get by and survive, right? So because of that, and then they're doing things that don't fulfill their soul, and they're feeling like they're barely making ends meet, let's say, then they get stuck in this, their behavior changes. So the oversoul only reacts to behavior. So you're an avatar, and how you move. So it's like almost like everyone's invisible, but when you're moving around and your behavior is your energy, right? So it's like, until you react to the stimuli, the construct that the oversoul created, then, and your behavior is like, say, negative because you're annoyed, then what happens is that the programming, the dungeon program, is going to give you more negative situation. But if you choose not to react to the stimuli and choose to be positive and ignore it and do things that make you feel good, then the behavior is quote unquote good, and the construct reacts to that, right? So it's like when we're just reacting, then we're not creating. We're just on autopilot doing things that we are quote unquote have to do, right? Like we have to go to our 9 to 5 job, we have to do this, but because we chose that lifestyle and those things to get that job in or whatever, is why we're in this autopilot. Wake up, make your coffee, have your breakfast, go to your job, come back, eat, sleep, watch some scroll on your phone, sleep, and then do the same thing, right? So you're reacting to this external reality, what you think you're supposed to do, instead of creating the reality that you want. You're creating the reality of, like, let's say it's being in nature. Create that reality. How do I make that happen? How do I make an income or live within my, like, live a simpler life so that I could have that lifestyle, right? So when we start creating the life that we want, then we break out of that feedback loop, right? So he gave an example, and he's going to talk, I'm